Hey, hey, we are here. It is a Tuesday morning for me. It is rainy. Not cold though. It's like a nice temperature. I love fall. I think I've shared that with you guys. I love fall. I hope you do too. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are appreciating the rain if it's raining where you're at, or the sunshine or the wind, whatever it might be. And today we are back with more coaching, and hopefully after the last few episodes, you've learned that coaching is to obtain new skill. It's to obtain a new lane, or to stay in your lane, right? More rhythm, more energy, more joy, whatever it might be that you need to move forward, whatever it is that you need to move forward in your life. I was thinking about this. It's like that of a softball coach you might have had when you were young, or maybe you had a track coach when you were young. I had a swim coach, and I'm not a swimmer. I did not swim in my elder years or in high school or anything like that, but I did have a swim coach when I was little. And I just remember that it was so great. I want to tell you about this moment that I remember, because all of a sudden I just had this morning right before I was going to share all the things I was going to share today. And I was like, I remember this time when I was being coached by this swim instructor, and I didn't know much about swimming, but I had swam quite a bit because we grew up on a lake on the weekends. We would go visit my grandparents on the weekends. Actually, then my parents ended up having a cottage when I was little, and we had so much fun on the weekends going to the lake when I was little. And so we'd swim all around that lake, and you'd learn all the different strokes. It was fun. But I remember swim lessons one time in my hometown pool. There was this one main instructor that everybody got, and so all the kids would show up at the pool to learn how to swim, all embarrassed, everything else, because, here we are around all these people that we don't know how to swim. And our swim coach was, I thought, brilliant. In my mind, he was brilliant. I really enjoyed him as a swim instructor. But I remember doing all the strokes and learning the basics. And I was young, maybe 6 or 7, and when we got to the backstroke, I thought, how in the world am I not going to run into this other kid in the other lane? I remember being really nervous about that. Like, I was not worried about the ability to do the backstroke. I was worried about, how am I going to stay in my lane as I'm going backwards? I had never had to worry about this, because when I had been swimming, I was typically either in the lake or maybe in a hotel pool where you could just swim all over the place because there wasn't that many people. But now I was nervous. There was this boy in the other lane, and I was going to run into him, and I wanted to figure out how to do this. But right before we all were about to go backwards and do this backstroke, our instructor gave us one important message. He said, make sure that you look straight ahead at the same thing. Focus on the same thing that you see right in front of you. And as you go, you'll be able to go in a straight line. I was so excited to learn this little tidbit. I was like not completely trusting that it was going to work because I had never done it, but I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a try. And you know what? I never ran into that boy next to me. I made it to the end of the pool in a straight line. It was awesome. It was one small tip that changed my life and my anxiety about running into this other kid in the next lane next to me. It was pick a spot in front of you and stare at it. Keep your eyes fixed on that one spot and you'll go straight. And it really did work. Now, for you swimmers out there, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness. But that was just one thing that was really an aha. And I think this is what happens to me when I get coached. I often see it happen when I coach others. Often, as I'm going into my session with my coach, I'll wonder, am I wasting my money or my time? And every single time, I have a moment like I did when I took swimming lessons. And it might be more than just, hey, look straight ahead. But it's often little tidbit or a little aha that gives me a forever change. And something that's significant that helps me in my life for the rest of my life. There is always a light that goes off, an accountability that brings more sense, more joy, more peace, or more meaning to my life and the opportunity to just open up myself allows for growth, greater knowledge, understanding, or truth of who I really am, or who I really was created to be here on earth. And it's what I hope to do for you when we're in our sessions. It's one of my favorite things. I never know what's going to happen in each session, ever. Every single one I pray beforehand because I'm like, okay, God, guide me, or help me to know when to just keep my mouth shut, help me to know when to open, help me to know how to guide. And it's like that swim instructor. He just knew at the right moment when to tell us the right things of how to learn that next thing about swimming. So I thought today I'd share some outcomes, some ahas, some appreciation that I have seen with some of my clients, some of our clients here. We don't have enough time to share all of our rewards and accomplishments, but here are a few that I see over and over. So I'm not necessarily, some are generic and some are specific, but I just wanted to share some things, and especially if you're just wondering, what do I get out of coaching, or do other people get the same thing that I get out of coaching? What is it? One is we always create goals and accomplish them, which is great. And I don't want to say it's 100% always accomplished because everybody's in a different position. Everybody's in a different thing, but our goal is to accomplish them, right? But some things that I've noticed that are specific are organization of household. It sounds so funny. Why would you go to a coach for that? But it's amazing how some people are stuck, and just the ability to be coached can change that for them, from stuckness to accomplishment. I love the organization of mental thoughts. That is some big work. We've done some big work here with mental reorganization and mental clean out, getting rid of the clutter that's not serving us. I remember one client who even said, even my closet is clean. We weren't even working on her closet. It was so funny. We were working on so many other things. And, I say here a lot, how we do one thing is how we do everything. So it's funny how as you make small shifts in one area of your life, how it can shift other areas of your life. And you're like, wow, this is working. We have seen gain of confidence with family, at work, or with friendships. So that gain of confidence has been really cool to see. And it's one thing, my first year of coaching, after I coached, I did I didn't really have a niche yet, and I was just kind of coaching with anyone and everyone. And after that first year, I went around and asked, what was one thing that you felt you got out of coaching with me? And it was just one after one was, I felt more confident in myself. I felt more confidence. I felt more confidence. And so we love to see that gain of confidence. I loved seeing one client who really didn't like to speak up in work meetings, but knew that she was being called to do that. And she began to display that confidence and to share what was on her mind in a respectful way. Another client dealt with a hard relationship and created boundaries, which ended up earning respect and serving both parties. Even though the other party wasn't part of this mission that she was on, it ended up serving both of them. I love seeing clients learn to renew their thoughts, letting go of what's not serving them. And one of my favorite times, it's probably my most challenging as well, is doing deep dives with clients. And I can think of 3 right off the bat who struggled in homes where they were raised. It wasn't necessarily their ideal setting growing up. And so a lot of their belief systems are not really what they want to believe today. And I love seeing what didn't serve them well growing up now can be thoughts that can serve them well in their households currently or in their relationships. Learning that we're worthy, learning that you are worthy, and God will use you right where you are with the experiences you have been through. Your beliefs that were formed so long ago are not always beliefs that are serving you, and those that can be changed. Your way of thinking can be changed, but sometimes it takes some big work and diligence. All right, moving on. I love seeing better calendar management. This is probably one of those things that's really consistent with what is now my niche of clientele. and learning to clear what is not serving you, letting go of pleasing others, and honoring what you are called to do. This is probably the area that needs the most attention. I work with, I would say, 90% women of faith who are servers, love to serve. They want to serve their community. They want to be there for their parents, for their kids, for their sisters, for their church, for their communities. They want to be there to do everything. That is you. I'm probably talking to you. You're wearing many hats, and it takes sometimes some really diligent work to really decide, where am I serving? Where is God asking me to spend my time, my energy, my money? And where to politely reside, even though it feels like a good thing. I love watching you and I learn to say no to the good things so that you and I can be available for the great opportunities. Those are some really cool moments when those are like big ahas. And then to see clients implement them is even greater, because then you know that they're really working for where they're supposed to be working. I have seen improved marriages and improved relationships. These are with mom and daughters. These are with husband and wife. These are with dating. These are with singleness. These are with single moms. These are with adoptions. A lot of different improved relationships has been a really cool thing to watch. Clarity of purpose, or why am I here on earth? This is one of my favorites. Creating a life statement is one of my favorite things. We typically will do this after you've worked through Living on Fire with Confidence, and it becomes your line of sight, your alignment with who you are. And I have not ever done a live session for this, but I'm thinking we may do this in the future. So watch out. We might have a good, really good deal coming up that we're thinking through. I love watching humbleness take over pridefulness. I love watching curiosity take over judgment. I love watching grace take over quitting, because moderation, rather than the all or nothing mentality, is really key to that healthy lifestyle. We learn to walk up and down the stairs rather than jump on or off the wagon. From alcoholism, eating emotionally, trying to lose weight, this is key to what has helped U2FB clientele move forward in life and live how they desire rather than live in stuck mode. Oh, I love watching people with weight management learn to create weight management, learning to eat high energy foods, learning how to eat what is important for them and not worry about comparing this. We could stay right here for about 10, 20, 30 minutes, right? We could stay right here on just physical goals and physical things that we've worked on. I also love when people learn to slow down and learn to have a relaxed mindset. And I think one aha that I love is learning that, oh, I'm not being lazy. I'm just learning to think differently, to do differently. And that's the same thing back with eating, is when we learn how to eat rather than what to eat. When we learn how to think rather than just letting our minds just flow, right? We can control it. Just like we can control our muscles being strong or not strong. We can control our thinking muscles to be strong rather than weak. And things I enjoy watching there's so many things, and I could have given you so many more details, but I want to be cautious and careful. You know, we are really good about being confidential here, so I did this a little bit generically. But my favorite is watching clients learn to love and honor themselves. I think this is something that I and you miss so easily. We are here to love and honor others, love and honor our God, and we forget about ourselves, especially when we are serving, and doing. It's amazing how often we forget to love ourselves, and I love the confidence that comes from that. I love where our confidence and joy come from. You've learned a lot. You've changed. You grew. You are more of who you were today than you were yesterday because you invested in yourself, So if you are here and you are getting coached, whether it's with me or whether it's with someone else, I am so appreciative of that because you are making the world a better place. You are making you a better place. You are making your family a better place. We make shifts here that help us stay in alignment. We get rid of the word should and change it to I could or I have an opportunity. If you're not part of this community, check us out at u2fp.net or LoriZacharias.com. We have lots of freebies like this Sharecast where you can learn more about us. And hey, don't forget to sign up for Healthy Habits October 21st. Bring your friend. It's important to bring your friend. One, because you'll get extra points for bringing a friend. And then the most points gets prizes. And that's like free sessions. It's free stuff. It's free coffee. We have a lot of different freebies that we give out during that week. So email me, Lori at u2fp.net, or sign up online because you were made to be abundant. So go and do just that. I will see you next week.